Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new role-playing game show. We're playing 316, the Space Trooper role-playing game. I'm Eric, your host of today's show, but not the GM. That is a special duty for a friend of mine, as you can see here to the left. And yeah, so welcome. Hope you guys enjoy this. We've been all really, really excited about this game, and I'll throw it over to John to tell us more about it.
Hello. I'm John Harper. I am a game master and game designer. You may know me from such shows as Roleplay Blades and Blades in the Dark Bloodletters with Strash here. Yeah, I'll be running 316 today. One of my favorite games of all time. We will get into it a little bit more, why it's cool and what the deal is. But I am super excited to run this on Twitch. I don't know if there's been a lot of 316 on Twitch. I'm guessing probably not. It's a bit of an older game. I was looking today. I was trying to find out how close we were to the 10th anniversary. We're very close. The game was originally written for a sort of design contest, and then published in 2008. So we're like right in that spot when the game was first developed by Gregor Hutton, one of the great RPG designers. So I'm pumped. Very excited to play this with you guys. Strash, what's up with you?
Hey folks, I'm Strash. You've probably seen me in similar shows like Bloodletters or Actual Plays Star Dancer. I am doing pretty good, and I'm excited to play some super macho Space Marines, I guess. 316 is also one of the games that I've had very fun things to say about. As a matter of fact, this whole project started because we started talking about how much we love 316, and then we decided to play it together. So great to see you today, and Morgan, take it away.
Hi, I'm Morgan Ellis. You may not know me from any Twitch. This is my first time, so hopefully it'll be fun. I am a writer-designer at worked a lot for Evil Hats, doing Fate stuff. But yeah, 316, I love this game back in the day, so happy to give it a try now. And Eric.
Yes, and yeah, I'm Eric. I am a mostly part-time role-playing game tabletop streamer focusing on a lot of indie games and getting new people into the hobby and exploring lesser-known, really good hits that may not have gotten as much exposure as they should. So I'm super excited to bring this out, and super excited to play with all of you. Man, when we spoke about this game, it was like instant, like, oh, I'm into, yeah, let's do it, and all of a sudden it was just okay. So the stars aligned. I cannot wait to do this. So, all right, John, let's talk about character creation and getting into what this game is about and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just to jump on what you just said there, this is one of those games. If the very, very brief description of it makes people's eyes light up, you know you're good, and if it doesn't, then you really shouldn't play it. It's like one of those things that you say, yo, you're Space Marines, out at the fringes of humanity, and you're tasked with destroying all life in the cosmos. And if someone goes, ew, like that's not necessarily a deal breaker, because that's the right reaction, is to go, that's gross. But yeah, it's super easy to pitch, and it's a really simple system, which we'll see here in a minute, that has a lot of interesting nuance and depth to it. But yeah, that's the general idea. So their game is called 316 because you are the expeditionary force from Earth, given that designation. And you guys play troopers in the expeditionary force, sent from Earth to sort of it's your job to defend Terra. But the way that the expeditionary force has decided defending Terra should go is to preemptively kill all other life in the cosmos. That way they could never be a threat. So they think of it as self-defense in the most insane way possible, right? The setting, this doesn't matter a whole lot, but just to give you a sense of the type of world, type of life that your character came from, the type of sci-fi that we're talking about here. It's at some point in the future. I always like to imagine the technology somewhere in the realm of aliens, like that kind of style, because everyone loves that stuff, and
yeah,
it suits Space Marines pretty well, as opposed to, say, the Warhammer vein of Space Marines. A little more grounded, a little more real, kind of. There are CRT screens, and there's like a computer room that you go to talk to the ship's computer, and There's no like weird force fields and holograms and things exist, but they're really like rare and high tech and strange. But on Earth, on Terra, they've figured out biotech is like really the main science, and people kind of live forever. And so there are suicide booths in the world when you've lived for thousands and thousands of years and you're bored and you just don't want to be alive anymore. You go jump in a suicide booth. So the Expeditionary Force was created as an alternative to the suicide booth. You don't have to end it all because you're bored. You can go out and protect Terra, die for a good reason instead of for no reason is one of the recruiting things. So you guys have a choice when you're thinking about your characters. You can play someone who's very old and was bored with life and joined up because they wanted to do something with their like meaningful, or you can play a young person who is sort of this next generation of recruitment that's serving Terra. So we are going to make characters. It's pretty simple. There's two kind of things to think about when we're doing character creation here. One is your persona, since this game is sort of action heavy and has a lot to do with combat and life and death struggle and stuff. I think it's always good in a game like that to have a real simple persona to kind of hang your hat on. Like, I'm the nervous one, or I'm the hyper aggressive kill machine, or I'm the grizzled veteran, or whatever your kind of core thing is. So that's something to think about. Keep it simple. I should say you're making your first characters. That's an important distinction. Characters are fragile in this game. It's very easy to die. So don't get too attached to these people.
Yeah.
So kind of core idea, core concept is one way to start. And then your character has two stats in this game. You have fighting ability and non-fighting ability. So when you fight, you roll using your fighting ability number. And when you do anything else, you roll using your non-fighting ability number. So for that to sort of work, having that kind of concept, that core concept is good. It'll help us make some determinations around your NFA sometimes. You'll be like, well, I think I could make a roll on that. I used to be a technician, or I grew up on it in an agro zone, so I understand plants, so I'll make an NFA test to know that or whatever. And that's totally up to you guys to flesh that out. You don't have to do it at the beginning. You can do it on the fly, where your areas of expertise are and where they aren't, because that's also fun. So yeah, FA and NFA, we roll a D10 for pretty much everything you'll do in the game. You're going to roll a D10 and you need to get equal to or under the number, your FA or your NFA number. They generally go from 2 to 9. And an important wrinkle is the highest success is best. So the highest rolled number that is still a success is a thing that will do a lot. Like the person who rolls the highest in combat, that's a success, they get to go first. If you're competing with someone and you both succeed, whoever rolls higher wins. So highest possible number, that's still a success, counts as a success. And that's about it. There's more wrinkles to the system, but that's really the core of it. We're going to be rolling equal to or less than your number a lot. That's the main thing.
Perfect.
So let's jump in and make characters. You good troopers have been recruited, or you joined up, and let's find out who you are. So Gregor recommends starting with a name. A lot of character creation systems put this last. I think there's a good reason why it's first for 316, because your characters are so paper thin that sometimes just the name is enough to inspire the rest of the character. Yeah. So in the Roll20 sheet page, I just put some names down as placeholders. Before we started, Strash was like, well, maybe those could just be our names. But it's up to you guys. You don't have to be Lexington, Thumper, and Cortez. those are just names that I put in for fun.
So if I recall, there's an actual.
There is a list of names. Yeah.
There is a list of names in the PDF in the appendix.
In the book, it's like page 90 or something like that.
Section F.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will apparently be young.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. And I'm gonna be Goodman.
All right.
All right,
I'm going to be Pasternak.
Young, Goodman, and Pasternak.
Yeah. And for writing the characters out here, I know our ranks and stuff are set up so it's like now it goes extending and then we can
adjust
move
all
that
that.
around. Yeah,
Yeah. That's fine.
I'm orange, Strauss, you are blue, and Morgan, you are gray.
I'm blue dabba dee dabba da.
Oh,
All right.
no.
So
Yeah.
you are young, Eric, right?
Yeah.
Strauss is blue. Goodman. And Morgan is gray. Pasternak. NACK?
NAK.
NAK. All right, nice. So next is your reputation. This is a short phrase or word that describes what sort of human you are.
Right.
Pointed, encapsulate the mood and feel of your character. Are you hot-headed? Are you ice cold? Are you crazy? A smartass? Trustworthy? Loyal? Whatever. And this is your reputation. That's an important thing. This is not necessarily true. This is what everyone decided about you, and everyone says about you. And so you can either play into it as like, yeah, I'm totally loyal, or like everyone thinks I am, but oh my god, I'm totally not.
All right. So two things, because I already know what I want to do, and so two things, John. You have me and Strauss mixed up in the colors.
Okay.
But second, my reputation is totally crazy. That I'm the oddball of the group.
Are we talking like kill crazy, or are we talking more oddball?
Oh, oddball. No, like I am out there.
Gotcha.
Okay, I like oddball. I think that's a good rep.
Yeah,
oddball. Because are you like? Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, don't worry.
That's enough. That's enough for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Who else has a rep?
I think I'd like to be ice cold.
Ice cold. Nice.
All right.
I mean, that is what's cooler than being cool.
that is right. Ice cold. Nothing rattles Goodman, right?
All right. I'll be a smart mouth.
Sorry, say again, Morgan.
A smart mouth.
Smart mouth. Uh-huh. Oh boy, Pasternak. You can stow that shit, Marine, right now, let me tell you. Going to be on latrine duty for the rest of your career.
Brought a spare toothbrush, Sarge.
See, you are a smart mouth. You got it. Cool. All right, we have the oddball, the ice cold guy, and the smart mouth. Wow, that's a great mix. I like that. Okay, next is abilities. So you have two abilities, like I said, fighting ability and non-fighting ability. You're going to split 10 points between those two. You have to give each one at least 2, so you can have 2 and 8, or 5 and 5, or whatever you want your split to be. I will tell you now that the person who has the highest NFA will be the sergeant of the squad. The person who has the highest FA will be the corporal. And then the other person will be the trooper. If there's a tie, then we roll off to see who's what.
Yeah. All right. I know I'm going to be 7 and 3 FA.
I'm going to be 7 and 3 NFA.
All right. I am 6 FA and 4 NFA.
All right.
Look at that.
Just smooth.
Immediately.
Smooth. Yep.
Suddenly I'm demoted in rank.
Yep, that's right.
It's less about demotions and it's more about having a good spread.
John, you got it mixed up again.
What?
I'm Goodman.
Damn it.
Eric is Goodman. I know you want me to be the corporal, John. I know we're gonna mix this around.
You are gonna be the corporal.
We're just gonna.
I have to move everything. It's okay.
Yeah, I can somehow have power to move that. So there we go.
Oh well, there you go. So Morgan, did you say 6 FA, 4 NFA?
Yeah.
Okay. 6, 4. Nice.
We need some people to land their shots. I'm not going to be doing it.
All right. So Goodman is our corporal. Young is our sergeant. And Pasternak is a trooper. Being the lowest rank is actually not terrible in 316.
No, it's good.
Low expectations.
You get a special ability when you're the lowest rank. So so the ranks go trooper, sergeant, trooper, corporal, sergeant. Theoretically, there are like higher level NCO ranks that if you stay in sergeant, you would become a staff sergeant or sergeant major or whatever as we go along. But the game also lets you just like flip over to becoming an officer from sergeant. Then you can be lieutenant, captain, major, etc. after that. There are some interesting little gimmicks that happen as the ranks go up. So we'll have that to look forward to and explore. We'll talk about that a little more as we go. Okay, so now the next thing we do is kills. This is the number of kills, the number of creatures you have killed in your career so far. So you're going to roll 1d10 for every point of FA that your character has and total that up.
28 for me. Not great.
Wow, I am bad at this game. I have only killed 8 things ever.
8?
Yeah.
Well,
Look at my roll. It was like epically bad.
You have other responsibilities as the
I know.
So roll 6d. 41 kills.
Ooh, Goodman, you're getting outshined by the.
You're slipping, Goodman.
Pasternak. Pasternak.
He's a killer. He's a smart mouth, but he knows how to kill aliens.
Is that why you got assigned to my squad?
Somebody had to.
You've killed more than me. I'm upset about this.
Well, you have a chance to prove yourself next drop, trooper.
That's corporal.
It is a competition. So
yeah,
be aware. So next we're going to do flashbacks. So in this game, you have access to 2 types of flashbacks, strengths and weaknesses. You don't need to write them on your sheet right now. You write them when you use them. So as a starting character, you have 1 strength and 1 weakness available to you, and as the game goes on, you'll get more available. When you use a flashback, you can use it at any time, whether it's your turn or whether you're in a mission or whenever you want to use one, you can use one. Using a strength, you narrate something from your character's past or a recent past even, or when you were a kid or whatever you want, any kind of flashback of a time when you were successful or heroic, or you learned a lesson or something that made you stronger. Using a strength ends the current problem that your character's in your favor. You win. So you win the encounter against the aliens completely. Anything you like stand up to the major and like he leaves you alone, or any kind of situation that you can just get out of, you can use a strength to auto win basically. And that would also count for the team. If like you guys are fighting a bunch of aliens, if someone uses a strength, it just wins the whole encounter and the whole team makes it out. So they're very powerful. You only have 1 when you start that's available to you. Then you also have weaknesses. Using a weakness gets you out of a problem. You fail in some way in the moment, but it lets you sort of slink away. So you can get yourself out of combat, for instance, using a weakness. But it doesn't help anyone else. And you do fail, like everyone knows, like you run away or you humiliate yourself in front of the captain or whatever it is. So that's, you guys have access to those. Just I didn't have room on the Roll20 thing to include how many flashbacks you have available.
Yeah.
So we'll just make a note that you have 1 strength and 1 weakness when we start.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our ranks, which we've already figured out. Your character's kit and training and stuff has to do with your rank. So we're going to step through the ranks real quickly here, starting with rank 0, Pasternak, our trooper. So you have a special ability, Morgan. Troopers they have a power called Force Weakness. Whoever is the lowest, it's not just troopers really, but whoever's the lowest ranking PC can target another PC and force them to use their weakness in an encounter or in a scene. And the rules for weakness happen as normal. There's some more to it. I think we'll see when it happens, but you're able to force weakness, and that can happen once per planet. So if you have multiple encounters, you can't just keep doing it to somebody. So that's your special ability as the lowest ranking person. And that is a meta power, by the way. Like, your character doesn't necessarily do anything. You can instigate it or whatever, especially because you're a smart mouth. Maybe that'll be how you do it. But it's an ability that you, the player, has. So troopers, each rank has a set of orders that they're supposed to follow. They are as follows. So as a trooper, you have 1 order. You have order 1. Kill as many life forms as you can. That's your standing order. And you get to choose. So all troopers have their armor, which is called Mandelbright's armor. It's your lifeline. You can use your armor once per planet to like keep yourself from taking a kill, basically. So it's kind of mid heaviness, pseudo bulky armor. Has a helmet. You can pull down the faceplate to seal it against a vacuum, and you have a little bit of air in there. Kind of all-purpose Space Marine armor. Nothing super fancy. You can requisition like jetpacks or whatever, but it doesn't have that stuff built in. So you have your armor. You have a knife, hydration tablets, TRMs, which are trooper-ready meals. They're horrible, awful, stinky protein cubes or paste that you can eat. A med pack. As long as you have your med pack, you can heal between encounters automatically. You have a backpack. You have your combat drugs. Once per planet, you can take your combat drugs to reroll FA roll. If you roll a 10 on that roll, you take damage from the drugs. You have flares, and you have an unread field manual. It specifies unread field manual. The field manual is actually very useful. Most of the stuff in the 316 in the brigade is kind of garbage. Everything was made quickly and rushed out the door, and stuff doesn't work super well. The field manual is actually pretty good. It's been added to over time, and it has a lot of useful information in there. So consulting your field manual is a thing you can try to do in the game. And you get your pick of weapons. So everyone has grenades. Everyone can fight hand to hand. And then a trooper can choose between an energy rifle or a slug rifle. The difference being the energy rifle is a little better, a little closer up, and the slug rifle is better farther out. So it's your choice, energy rifle or a slug.
I'm going to take an energy rifle.
Energy rifle, all right. So the energy rifle does 1 kill at close, D10 kills at near, and 1 kill at far. So here's a fun thing in this game. When you attack the aliens, your damage die you roll, and that tells you how many aliens you kill. So if I have D10 damage on my energy rifle at near range, I roll a D10. If I roll 8, I kill 8 creatures. So that's how that works. All right, energy rifle for you. All right, Corporal Goodman.
Yeah.
You're next.
Yep. Yeah.
You are a step up from Trooper, and you're the sergeant's right-hand man. You're kind of the sergeant's assistant. Your responsibility is order 2. What's order 2, Eric? You want to tell us?
Maximize the kill ratio, which is bugs killed per trooper.
Mm-hmm. Maximize the kill ratio of the squad. So you want to have a high ratio, and you just figure out how to make that happen. That's your responsibility. You have your Mandelbrite armor, a knife, hydration tablets, trooper ready meals, a medipack, backpack, combat drugs, flares. You have mitt and ball. Mitt and ball is the brigade approved recreational devices. So you carry a mitt and a ball with you.
Mandatory fun.
Uh-huh. And you have a tatty field manual.
It's still, yeah, I like how it's tatty, as in not sure if it's used. Like I actually read it. It's just messed up.
It's old. It's worn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. May not have been read.
Or used as fire starting material.
Right.
So you have to get cleaned up somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full link in the chat says that order seems vague. Like, get used to that. There's a lot of that. So Corporal, you get to choose between the almighty E-cannon or the almighty heavy machine gun.
E-cannon, all the way. E-cannon.
Best weapon in the game, soldier.
The E-cannon is amazing. The E-cannon does 0 kills at close, 0 kills at far, but it does 2d10 kills at near. So as long as you're in the right spot, the E-cannon is amazing. If you're not in the right spot, it sucks. Yes, but of course you take the E-cannon. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Why would you not? The experimental brigade tech that channels plasma bolts or whatever. I mean, duh. You're an oddball. You're crazy. You want the more experimental, the better. Cool. All right, Sarge. So you are the NCO in charge of the squad, which will be these 2 Yahoos and any PC squad members, should you have them. You get Order 3 and Order 4. You want to tell us what those are, Sarge?
Order 3 is follow directives issued by the officers, of course. And Order 4 is protect your squad of troopers. You can use the evac ability.
Correct. Generally speaking, the highest ranking PC has the evac ability. When they die, the next highest ranking PC, if it hasn't been used, may scrounge the sergeant's comm identifier device or whatever to use the evac. It basically gives you a chance to get picked up and get the fuck out of a bad situation. Everyone takes a kill. So the way damage works in this game is you inflict kills on the enemy, and they inflict kills back on you. Because of your gear and your Terran biotechnology stuff, you're tough enough to be essentially killed twice without really dying. You can take a lot of punishment as a Marine. So your first kill just leaves you a mess, like you're all bloodied or maybe your guts are hanging out or whatever, but you're fine. You can still keep fighting anyway. Your second kill leaves you crippled, and then the third kill kills you. You die from that. The evac ability, because of the way the pickup works, it's like a bombardment, airstrike and shockwave from the evac craft and stuff. Everyone takes a kill on evac, so just keep that in mind. It's not always a get out of jail free card when everyone's really banged up. You want to use it before everyone gets to the brink of death, or not. It's up to you. It's your call, Sarge. Do it however you want. So, Sarge, you get to choose between the slug rifle or the heavy machine gun. Your precision or mayhem, I guess, are the options.
I think it looks like our squad is designed for near and close encounters. So I'm going to go with the heavy MG.
All right. Going all in. Who cares about far? That's that.
How else you expecting to go?
If you can't see the eyes of the aliens, you're not really in combat.
Well, I've killed things without eyes.
Yeah.
But I have.
So you have your Mandelbrite armor, knife, hydration tablets, trooper ready meals, medipack, backpack, combat drugs, flares, a radio, and a well-used field manual. Which I assume in this case does mean you've actually cracked the cover on that thing and have maybe even read words inside of it.
I have strategy and tactics.
Nice.
And how many kills, Sarge?
Son, it ain't all about putting notches on your shoulder pads.
Is for this one.
Says the person in last place.
Oh man. Yeah. All right, 28 kills for Goodman, 8 kills for Sergeant Young. We don't want to talk about that. And 41 for Pasternak. Nice.
Cool.
Okay, so those are our characters. We're gonna jump into the game in just a moment. Let me look at my sheet here and see if there's anything else I need to ask you. I don't think so. Oh yeah, no, there's a couple things I want to ask you. While I'm doing this, if you guys want to make up serial numbers, that's a thing you can do.
Yes.
Send them to me in chat or whatever, and I'll put them in for you.
What are they, 10 digit?
9.
Roll for your serial number. Yeah, there you go. Nice. So my first question is, who is the newest member of the squad?
Is it our sergeant? Or is it our trooper?
Say, it would be interesting if it's the trooper. I think Goodman, you and I have like worked for a while. This is like why you're like my right hand man or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that the trooper may be the only survivor, like, or something that got assigned to our squad. Like, I don't know what happened to your last squad. You should tell us, Morgan.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so you're a replacement coming into Sergeant Young's squad. Are you a new recruit on your first assignment? Well, not your first. You have 41 kills.
Right.
But are you a survivor of a previous thing? Did you get moved because you're so good? You got put over here, or?
Yeah, I got moved. I think it was let's go with the last squad got wiped out to not to a man, but pretty close. So they decided to break us all up.
I see. Okay. So yeah, the survivors were not allowed. There were a few. We weren't the only survivor.
Right. Salt the rest of the company with some experienced vets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or
nice.
Free up that number to start a whole new unit.
So yeah, I think the planet that your ship, you guys are stationed on the Euphrates. It's a command and assault vessel. The planet that you are currently around has been designated Daisy, like the flower. And I think the initial assault, Pasternak, your previous squad was on that mission on Daisy.
Okay.
Young, your team did not go on the first assault. You were like reserve team, and you did go. You went on the evac when everything went wrong. The initial planetary assault. And at the beginning, it went fine. You guys were on the reserve, like hanging in the dropship bay, waiting in case of emergency. And the first like 2 days of your reserve posting, you just spent your whole time like hanging in the dropship and everything, not hearing anything. everything's apparently okay. Generally, the brigade goes down. They establish some sort of landing area. They set up mobile outpost or temporary outposts, that kind of thing, and start the process of wiping out the planet. It's a slog, right? This is your job. It's an infantry heavy thing. There's some light orbital bombardment that happens to start, but not as much as a sensible person would do. You guys don't really understand the logistics there, but that's how they do it for some reason. And then you guys come in and mop up, and it's generally a very long process, right? Like to establish wiping out a planet's worth of life forms is like a really big job. So presumably there are other vessels doing the same thing in other parts of the planet, and you're tasked with this one like local region. But no one ever tells you anything about anything. You get your orders. Everything is very straightforward. And if you want to know more stuff, of course, there's the Sergeant's Network. There's all kinds of other ways to kind of discover things. But by default, you're not really told anything. But after the initial, presumably after the initial outpost establishment on Daisy, it was the third rotation through on reserve duty. Your dropship got called. Your dropship pilot her name is Lucille. That's what everybody calls her anyway, or Chief. She's a chief warrant officer. She generally works evac. She has a reputation as a real maverick, stunt flyer, kind of crazy pilot. So you guys came in and you picked up some of the survivors during that evac, and from what you could tell, the beachhead, the FOB, the temporary operating base there, it was pretty wrecked. It was smoking. There were fires. There were craters, shell craters, and explosion burn marks on the walls, and you didn't get to see much of it. But after a few days, Pasternak was patched up enough to be put back in rotation. And I don't know what you remember from that time, Pasternak. I think, and maybe it's a little bit hazy. What do you think, Morgan? Do you have any ideas around that, or should I just leave it vague?
Yeah, I remember my legs getting blown the fuck off. What the hell happened there?
Yeah.
One moment I was running along on my legs. Next moment, no legs. What the hell?
It was inconvenient, to say the least.
No kidding.
One cannot charge at the enemy if one does not have working legs.
You can kind of crawl on your arms, but
yeah. So you have a brand new.
Have explosives. That's the thing I'm worried about. How did I get my legs blown off if they didn't have them?
Yeah, so in the movie version, we see probably like this vague shaky cam. It's black. It's dark. It's night. People are yelling. There's explosions. Someone runs up to you and grabs you by the front of your arm and is like, "Get your weapon!" And everything's like blowing up. And so we don't really know what happened, but we see the overhead, the big crane shot of you lying in a exploded crater, Sans legs. Yeah, and then maybe like pan back down through the ceiling of the bunk room, and we see you there in your off-duty shorts and your like brand new, strangely unblemished, hairless, newly grown legs attached
like a portion of a tattoo, right?
Oh, it's like cut off.
Stops,
yeah.
And then the hairless portion begins.
Yeah. So when we see you, what do you look like, Pasternak? When the camera comes in, like we see you in your bunk there.
Yeah, I think typical trooper, youngish. Although I guess, do we have the technology to be all young all the time, or is it like we actually?
Yeah, I think everyone basically looks like they're like 30, maybe. Okay. You could probably choose to like let your hair go gray or to not take the skin treatments or whatever, but by default, everyone looks kind of generically adult.
In that case, yeah. So, pale skin. I mean, the legs on the newborn legs are paler, but yeah, it's kind of just where the visor slit is, about the only place I'm going to get some sunlight. So, what are you gonna do? Nice. Yeah, some tattoos, some all sorts of trooper sort of yay 316 logos and all that sort of thing.
Oh, so yeah, you're like a true believer, huh?
Yeah.
You got the Death's Head skull and the
Damn right.
The wings. Yeah.
Wow. Kill tattoos. You have like a running like.
No, I think we'll go with on the armor. Like, yeah.
It's like ticked on the. Yeah, nice.
And
nice.
Speaking of being decked out in 316 gear, John, what is on your collar there?
Oh well, I am officially a major in the brigade. I have my rank pin.
Yeah,
right here. It's official. Very very proud of that. Awarded by Gregor, so it's like extra official.
You mean the marshal?
Yeah, exactly. Field Marshal Hutton.
Oh.
So yeah, well, we see the legs, the newly grown vat legs on Pasternak, and then the oh my god, this guy is hardcore tattoo business. He must be a real true believer, trooper, gung ho guy. We pan out a little bit and we see the bunk room, and it's I'm kind of picturing it a little bit like the bunk room from the new Battlestar Galactica. It's sort of like a U shape. There's bunk racks. There's three to a side on the three sides, and then the middle part has like a common table, and then there's a ship's door, like a big sealed submarine style ship's door between the bunk room and the connecting hallways. And you guys have your Mandelbrite lockers here. But what we can see is we can see the suits, like there's like a slit at the top. We can see the helmet, and it has your name like printed on the it has your serial number. That's what it has. Here's your serial number on the helmet. And maybe some people like put some tape on it with their name or something. So we can see those. The Mandelbrite armor lockers are these thick vault-like doors. They're sealed shut, and the seal has a panel on it which is glowing red. It's very obvious as the viewer here. We see like, oh, their armor's here, and it's like locked. And inside, your weapon is hanging next to it. And as the camera pans past, we can see like there's little like ice crystals inside the armor lockers. It's very cold in there. They're on some sort of suspension rail system. And they're kept separate from the troopers. The room itself is mostly made of metal. The bunk, it has like cutouts in the wall where the bunk slots are. You have a little personal light inside there. Some of them are out. They don't work anymore. You guys are the only three people in the room. We see Pasternak first, but as we pan across, there's no one else in the other racks. What do you take? Are you the top bunk guy, Pasternak?
No, I'm the bottom bunk.
You're the bottom? Okay. So we pan up, we see they're empty. There's no sheets or mattresses or anything in the slots. They're just empty. The metal is old. It's sort of corroded, dusty. The table in the center is let me ask the sergeant. We're panning over. We're going to see Sergeant Goodman next. Sorry, Sergeant Young. God, I keep getting you guys mixed up.
It's okay.
Eric is on top. He is the gold guy. I will remember now. Okay. We see Sergeant Young. But before we see Sergeant Young, before we see you, Strash, we see the communal area. There's a table. There's metal chairs around it. How do you keep your bunk room? What sort of discipline are we seeing when we see that center table? What state is it in?
I think it's a mess. There's probably several glasses. Well, actually, here's a question: are we running? Do our ships run gravity?
They do. They have artificial gravity.
Yeah. In which case, there's probably a couple of glasses with various like amber and brown colored liquids in them. Probably ashtrays with cancer sticks, which are official.
Yes.
And branded cancer sticks. And there's probably actually several decks of cards, which as the camera pans over them, probably some of them are like plain white, and occasionally you see like the suits like flicker because it like projects whatever you need for the card game on them or whatever. And it looks like a bit of a mess. It's not like there's not like trash on the floor, there's no like bugs or anything like that, but it's obvious that this isn't like a well scrubbed, highly disciplined kind of outfit.
Gotcha. Not ship shape.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we pan across, and are you in your rack? Are you at the table? Where do we see Sergeant Young?
Yeah, I think I'm in my rack, and I am gonna say that I look maybe a little uncomfortable, actually. Young is like lying down, but like not in like some like super comfy, like I'm used to this kind of position. I'm gonna say that Young is a gal, and she's got like shaved sides of the head and like ponytail, and seems to be a little bit taller than the other people, maybe. Just kind of like a little bit more spindly than maybe you would expect from like a well-built ground pounder. Most notably different from her to a lot of the people is that she doesn't have that generic 30s adult look. Two key features are, one of which is she has like obviously not naturally red hair, and she has several obvious scars. So she's got like the combat pants and like the little like tank top thing that like soldiers have, like standard issue, right? Like with the 316 logo on it, etc. But she actually has like a massive set of scars over one face, like obvious cuts, maybe even a couple bullet holes. And as we've seen with the legs, these repairs are available and capable in terms of the technology.
Yeah.
So it seems like she chooses to keep the actual wounds.
Nice. Yeah, I think there maybe there's a little, not a flashback, official flashback, but like I'm imagining a moment in the past where you were given a commendation for like just randomly at one point after a mission, you found it in your bunk there, that you like are saving the medical, the colonel of the medical staff like called you out for your particular sacrifices in refusing the regrowth treatments or whatever. You just got, it wasn't like a big public thing, you just got a little notice. It's in your file, like you're an example to everyone that rationing the medical supplies is good behavior, and you should be commended for your service to Terra.
Yeah, don't get clawed in the face.
Cool.
Nice.
And also, we should point out, Sergeant Young, you have your sidearm.
Of course I do.
Everyone else's stuff is locked away, and I don't know where it is. I don't know if we see it like in a gun belt hanging by your rack, or if you're wearing your weapon. You're the only one who is armed. I guess you guys probably, like, knives are probably fine. Like you have your trooper knives like somewhere, but
I think that like my holster is hanging by my bed, but it's empty. And then like as the camera pans around the room, you realize that like as I'm lying there, my hand is under my pillow, and that's where the gun is.
Nice. Okay, sidearm. Yeah, interesting. And then finally, we spin around, I think, to the other side of the room there, across from the armor suits, and we see Corporal Goodman. What's up with you, Corporal?
Of course, I am the last one to be presented because I'm not actually in the room as we begin. Okay. I walk in. You hear you see the steam coming from like the shower heads parts and stuff.
Oh,
the bathrooms, and you see me coming in stark naked with a white towel or green towel over my head, like doing some like cleaning my hair and drying it off and stuff like that. So you don't see my face, but you hear me humming along to Black Sabbath, like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath as I'm going, like I'm scrubbing my hair until I'm like doing that. Like I know exactly where my locker is like this is just pretty typical of me, and you just see me like just without even looking, just be able to navigate navigate, like, there's the bench, walk around it, go right to my locker, and like type in the passcode. I'm still like doing my like drying off my hair, and then when you see me open up the locker head, I take off my towel, and then the little like hollow side of my locker like picks up right where the song left off, right, and starts like blasting it like as I open my locker. And inside the locker next to me, you see with Goodman, you see he has very long black hair. Like a really like patchy, scraggly beard. Like it was healthy at one point, but it's not really healthy anymore. But like he's like basically like a metalhead. You see inside the locker, you see like an old like dartboard that has like a silhouette of like an alien on it, right? And it's like completely just shot to pieces. You see another like a Blue Oyster Cult album like cover like picture underneath that, like that's like flickering in and out, like it's super super old. And then under that you see a couple like tattoos or not tattoos, graffiti things written in it, stuff like "Make war, not love" and stuff written there. And and like the part like finally like when like the bass line, the heavy part of top, it comes in, he like just takes the towel and kind of like air guitars it for a little bit. He's like, oh, it's so good, as he like finishes up and gets ready again. Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna mess up your name so bad. Torf Jays. Living just for dying just for you. Yeah, like exactly. Like that's the part that comes in. Yeah, you got it.
So when this goofball comes in and opens the lock, not the armor locker, but the
personal locker,
like next to your bunks there. When he opens it and it's like it just like comes roaring into the room.
Yeah.
I get. Let's who should we look at first? Pasternak. This is maybe the first time you've experienced this bullshit. How do you react? How do you react to that?
Classical music, huh?
I look over, I just throw up the horns to him. Like, yeah. Yeah. I'm an old soul, man.
Yeah, I can tell.
Do you like the old stuff too? Can I tell? Like, when I throw up the horns, do you like throw up the horns too, or do you just kind of like, are you judging me? What are you doing?
I'm judging you. Yeah. I'm just sort of like, okay. I mean, last Squadron, he had his own musical taste, and that was crap too. But what are you gonna do?
Crap, man.
You're just over it.
Crap, man. This is perfect. This is perfection. Tell me, what is better than Sabbath? And I look at you very like I'm just completely naked, just standing there. It's like, what's better?
And you're like, Are you yelling this? Like, how loud is?
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm absolutely yelling over this. Like, what is better than Sabbath? And I like look over, like arms akimbo, like I can't believe that, like sacrilegious.
And I go, I like to get the lid out.
Yeah, I laugh, of course, and I slam my locker as I got my clothes out, and I'm like, good man. And and have we actually met like before, Pat? And
maybe,
right?
I mean, it's a big commissary.
Right.
Do you eat with other people?
Yeah, of course I do. But no, it's like I don't. He's like, maybe no, it'd actually be perfect. You know what? Forgive me, man. I forgot your name. I'm Corporal Goodman, and I want to shake your hand.
Yeah, good to meet you.
So we see
you don't say your name.
Yeah, I mean, Pasternak, right?
Pasternak.
We see over your shoulder as you lean down, Eric, to shake. Yeah. That you've shut your locker. There's a digital readout over everyone's locker that has like
it's
6 digits, and yours says 28. And then you lean down, the camera kind of moves so we can see behind you as you shake his hand. He says Pasternak, and we see 41 behind it, like over his locker in the back there. The sergeant's locker, the light is out or something. It doesn't work, I guess. So it doesn't.
The tens column isn't working.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not showing anything. It's probably broken.
Yeah.
It's just blank. That's weird. But it's obviously off. Like it doesn't work. It's not 0. It just doesn't work. You don't really know. I don't really know how many kills Sarge has. It's like it's up to Sarge, I guess. Cool. Weird. So I think that's the last moment. You guys shake hands there. I think we're right on time for our first break. So maybe we'll stop there and we'll come back and we'll do a mission.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 6 minutes. So see you on the other side of the break.